Hi, I'm Glenn Everett, Master of Machines.
Terry, would I be right in saying we are currently standing in front of the jewel in the crown in your collection here, this 48 Tucker Torpedo?
Yeah, well, this is I suppose, the pinnacle of collector cars if you're into the history of progress. And the Tucker was an astonishing attempt at producing another vehicle that had a lot of innovation. Rear engine, flat six motor.
For the viewers out there that don't know much about the Tucker story, it's quite interesting, isn't it? It really is about one man, Preston Tucker, who wanted to create his own car and take on the giants in the automotive industry in the US, and he almost succeeded, didn't he?
He called this project the first new car in 50 years, and he thought this was the first progressive car to have a lot of safety innovations and a lot of aspects to it. Inside there, he didn't like to have all the dashboard instruments and knobs and handles and everything sticking out. So he had a padded dashboard and like a capsule in there that the passenger could actually fly into in the case of a serious accident. He wanted disc brakes, but the thing he liked most of all was to have the engine down low at the back, because in a head-on smash or a big smash with a front engine car, usually the engine came in on you, and the idea of this, all the passengers would be safe. In the luggage compartment, you put your suitcases in the front and the spare wheels in the front. The other aspect to this, it has the Cyclops headlight, which turns with the steering as you're going around a corner.
So it directs the light to where you're travelling, so you can see ahead.
Yeah. It's so much feels like a Porsche when you're driving it, and sounds like it when you accelerate.
That flat six, angry flat six sound.
Angry flat six.
Yeah.
It gets up and goes. How on earth it didn't get to make it into the market is quite a shame.
It's amazing. I mean, the way I see it is that if I was one of the big automotive companies over there and I saw this car that was coming to production, I would be very, very concerned, because have a look at it. It's another level above anything else of that late 40s period. It looks sleek, it's mean. It means business, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. You've got 6 exhaust pipes hanging out the back. In 1947, 48, unheard of.
Well, at the moment I'm doing something I never thought I'd be doing. In fact, there's probably not too many people on this planet that would ever get the privilege to drive such a car. I'm driving a 48 Tucker. What an epic moment this is for me. A real iconic part of American automotive history. The car that happened but never really did go into production, sadly. Now, just to put this into perspective, if I look a little bit nervous, there's a very good reason for it. This car is worth a substantial amount of money, and no wonder, because of its rarity. It's not worth $500,000, it's not worth even $1 million. It's worth $3 million, and no wonder, because they only made 51 of these cars. And there's about 49 in existence today. Now, it all started back with Preston Tucker. He was born in 1903 and he loved anything with wheels and an engine. One moment in history that was quite iconic for him was when he built his Tucker combat vehicle, known as the Tucker Tiger. It was a heavily plated, high-speed combat vehicle that had a top speed of 115 mile per hour on tarmac and 65 mile per hour on dirt. It had a really unique and innovative gun turret on it too that he also designed. Now, the US Army didn't want it. They said it was too fast. They didn't believe that any such vehicle really needed to go any faster than about 30 or 40 mile per hour. Personally, I would have thought you'd want to get away from the enemy, and that would have been the perfect vehicle to do so. So they didn't take it. One good positive, though, was that the US Navy actually picked up his gun turret, and also the Air Force. So over the years, Preston Tucker decided he was going to build a car. It was his dream to do so for many, many years, hence what we see here right now. It was a really big deal. They had to raise a substantial amount of money, millions and millions of dollars. Initially, they got up to $17 million invested through the stock exchange, and they needed much, much more. They had some help from the government too, because post-war, there was a lot of buildings around that were not being used. He had his eye on one building that was extremely big, a huge manufacturing plant in Chicago that was used for aircraft assembly and manufacturing during the war. This building was actually the largest building under one roof in the entire world. Absolutely ginormous. And guess what? They secured it. It all began. The deal was that they had to build 50 cars within that 1 year period after they got the facility. So they had their work cut out for them because they effectively didn't have a car at the time. So away they went. Everything was moving along well. There was a lot of work to do. They were building a very innovative car. This car was unique. It had a very streamlined design, and Preston had a lot of really innovative features that he wanted to apply to the production model. He wanted disc brakes, which weren't really around at that point in time, magnesium wheels. He wanted things like seat belts, of all things. Seat belts, can you believe that? He had a big argument with the board of Tucker Corporation because they said, if you tell the public your vehicle needs seat belts, they're going to think it's unsafe. Is that crazy or what? Tucker was adamant to get seat belts in the vehicles in production. This car here doesn't have them. It's a prototype. The engine was quite unique too, and believe it or not, it was actually derived from a helicopter. It was a flat six, about 330 cubic inches or 5.4 litres in today's language. It had 166 horsepower and about 375 foot-pound of torque. So it was quite a stout thing in the day. Originally they used a cord-style transmission, which did fail fairly often. Then they went to a newer, unique design for the later of the prototypes. Now things were moving along at a fast pace for the Tucker Corporation, but things started to turn sour. They were well into building the prototypes and setting up the manufacturing plant. All of a sudden, some bad publicity started coming about. But the media started to dream up a bit of a story that Tucker may have been a bit of a fraud, and he was taking investors' money and wasn't even attempting to build a car. That was so far from the truth. And in the end, the Tucker Corporation associates all got indicted and had to go to court. It was a long, drawn-out battle, and Tucker was trying to actually get his cars up and going and get these prototypes built to meet that 50-car demand that was put upon him. Anyway, it went to court, and the prosecution was trying to destroy him. But it didn't all go that way. There were some witnesses that came in and gave some really good evidence. And basically, in the end, the trial was up and they were found not guilty, which was an amazing result for the Tucker Corporation. But unfortunately, the company was dead and gone by then. The bad publicity absolutely killed the shares. What a shame such a groundbreaking car never got to see the light of day. Now, Preston Tucker was still upbeat and enthusiastic about getting back on track, but sadly, he passed away in December 1956 due to illness. A man that never got to see his dream become reality. My final thoughts on this beautiful 48 Tucker, I'm absolutely blown away. This car was no fallacy, it was no joke, it was real, it was ready to go into production. It is so perfect in every way. The body and panel fit, the paint quality, the drivetrain, the dynamics of the vehicle and the way it drives. This thing would have taken the automotive world by storm. It would have had its opposition running scared. And I doubt very much whether they would have wanted to see this car on the market. It would have cost them a fortune in sales because this thing would have taken off like you wouldn't believe. And no wonder, have a look at the thing. This car here is a 1948 muscle car. It's sleek, it's low, it's exciting to look at, and it's got the performance to match. What a damn shame it didn't go through. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notifications bell because there's a lot more content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'd really appreciate it if you'd like and comment on this video.